This is a picture of the Earth, taken by the Voyager 1 spacecraft as it left our solar system. It inspired Carl Sagan to write this. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors so that, in glory and triumph, they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Carl Sagan was a very wise man. Yes, our world might be tiny and seem insignificant relative to the enormity of the universe, but there is one thing that makes our world significant. Life! As far as we can tell, so far, the Earth is the only place in this entire universe where there is something more than inanimate rock and gas. Here, there are living beings. And even more incredible still, there is intelligent life. Humans, who are capable of thinking, aware of our existence, and able to understand that significance. With the exception of a few other species on Earth, for whom it's true to a much lesser extent, humans are the only things in the universe that can know something. We are a way for the universe to know itself. Human life is the most precious thing in the universe, and it needs to be treated as such. I'm not an environmentalist just for the sake of the Earth. I care about the Earth because we need it to sustain human life. The climate is changing. The only debate now is whether it is being caused by humans or not. And both sides have valid arguments, but both sides are also missing the point, the bigger picture. It doesn't matter if the changing of the climate is natural or man-made. All that matters is that it's changing, and that threatens human life. If the climate were to keep changing at the rate it has for the past century, within a few more centuries, or perhaps much sooner, there would be droughts so severe that wars would be fought over sources of water, and those droughts would cause famines so severe that the Earth would no longer be able to support much of the human population. People will say that we can't stop it, but they underestimate human ingenuity and spirit. We already have the power to drastically slow climate change, and if we can hold it off for long enough, in the future we will develop the technology to reverse it. But that doesn't excuse us from our responsibility to do our part now. If we don't start changing our ways, drastically, and now, future technologies might be too little too late. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another, and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known.